Hello, and welcome back to another day in the arena. It's me, it's CGB, and it seems like the quest knows what's happening today. 30 green or blue spells? Oh yeah, because today is the first round with Simic in the color challenge. And what are we playing? We're calling we'll call this Hybrid Simic. Brad Nelson, Javier Dominguez, Seth Manfield. At Mythic Championship VII, they dominated the field with this Simic Flash deck merged with a bit of Simic Ramp. The ramp pieces being Nissa, who shakes the world, and Hydroid Krasis. My version is similar with a few differences of its own. We trimmed on a few spells because, well, the Mythic Championship field was almost devoid of aggro and was best 2 out of 3, so it allowed for an adaptable sideboard. A best of 1 field, like I enjoy playing for, has much more aggro, and we need to be flexible, playing cards like Aether Gust and Mystical Dispute. Those are great cards when you know that they will most certainly be live against almost every deck you play, but you play weird stuff in best of 1. For every person who posts in Discord or on Reddit that they played 12 Simic Flash decks in a row, that is the rare exception to the rule. Most of the time you will play all kinds of bizarre things. And what does an Aether Gust do against Mono Black? It loses you the game. That's what it does. So we had to make some adjustments. We trimmed on counter spells a little bit. And when I say trimmed on that, yes, we're only running 11. A mere 11 ways to make your opponent sad and miserable. And we upped the bounce because that's not annoying at all. We have 3 unsummons and 4 brazen borrowers. This is to break serve. If we're on the draw, we need a way to gain back tempo. While these cards can be card disadvantageous, if that's a thing, because we spend a card and the opponent still has their card, they just have to replay it. We do make all that advantage up in the late game. If we can do Nightpack Ambusher, Nissa, and Hydroid Krasis, then it really doesn't matter how many cards they have in hand. We can run away with the game pretty well from there most of the time. 2-drop ramp play is important. Paradise Druid and Growth Spiral are our 2-drop ramp plays. There is definitely a case for the 3rd Paradise Druid. You could trim one unsummoned or the negate for it, depending on how you like to tilt. I do enjoy negate, but sometimes you run up against the Knight deck and they just smash you while negate sits in your hand. That's sad. So anyway, this is the build. 2 Castle Vantress, 2 Fabled Passage among the other green and blue lands, and this is the deck that people hate. It is strong. It is very hard to beat. The innovation of basically taking what's left of the Oko deck and putting it together with the Simic Flash shell is very tough. The killer combo of the deck is Nightpack Ambusher or Nissa, who shakes the world, and a counterspell. If you can assemble that, the cards just run away with the game. Within a few turns, you amass an advantage that's very hard to overcome. So let's dive in. Let this evil Flash nonsense begin. All right, we're on the play with a Paradise Druid, a Nissa, and a Quench. It doesn't get much better than that, and we have Breeding Pool Nissa, so it's a keep. Nissa untapping Breeding Pool lets you make 2 mana, one of which is blue, one of which is green, which lets you continue to play counter spells even after resolving this epic Planeswalker. So definitely a killer combo, Nissa and Breeding Pool. And our opponent opens on Steam Vents, which could mean a number of things. Let's get a Paradise Druid going. Ready for action. And blue-red what? Discovery. Grixis? Arclight Phoenix? Who knows? But they kept both of the cards, and that is alarming. Alright, I don't like to give away that I have a Castle Vantress until I'm almost ready to use it. It can affect how the opponent plays to some extent. If I attack with the Paradise Druid, I can definitely quench any attempt to remove it. So let's go for it. If the opponent has double shock or something like that, I guess I'll be sad. So it's a small risk, but we'll see. Another Discovery, that's fine. Doesn't affect the board, doesn't kill the Paradise Druid. So don't make a move you don't have to make. Assemble the combo. Nissa counterspell. Arclight Phoenix, indeed. I'm curious about this. I have a feeling they'll struggle with a large Krasis, so I'm going to play to that end. Here's Nissa. Little pause there, implying an opt or a shock. Nissa can untap the breeding pool. The negate is available. What are they supposed to do? What can they do? Rise, my elemental best friend. Let's go. What possible recourse? Maybe if the opponent can get back 2 Arclight Phoenixes next turn. Then we'll have a game. Attacking with breeding pool. Opponent takes it, past the turn. They kept the opt. All right, they're going to try to get their Arclights back right here, right now. I think I'm just going to counter their first removal spell. Ooh, a lava coil. Well, now if I... This is interesting. I could add mana, but not counter anything. What could they play? Shock, opt. And I guess countering something there doesn't matter. So yeah, we will negate the lava coil. Keep our breeding pool around to go with the Krasis. Now, here's an opt. Will they find the shock to get the Phoenix back? They won't get 2. They really needed a second one here. And, oh, do they have it? Oh my gosh, they have it. Professional gamer needed 2 Arclights on turn 4 and got them. Bravo. All right, now we have to rally. They got through definitely the best we could do. So we'll attack first with the breeding pool, then play, I guess, a Krasis for 4 stands up to the Arclight Phoenix, although it does not stand up to Lava Coil if there's another one. So it could be bad, but I think we've got to go there. Our opponent is down to 12. So we can try to put some pressure on them. But they might steal this. They definitely had the best draw their deck puts together, most of the time. I mean, there's crazy draws where they have all 3 or 4 Arclight Phoenix. But yeah, that was well played by them. Now we can't allow too much time. Our opponent will certainly find more lava coils if we give them the time to do so. Or they just have one now. That is good too. And they hardcast the Merchant of the Veil and send in 1 Arclight Phoenix because they're thinking about double blocking. Yeah, they want to block away the breeding pool and then get their bird back. We're at 19. We could sit back for a little bit, scry with the castle. The opponent has a loot machine in the Merchant though. That's pretty bad for us. We could play the temple. We could also shock with the breeding pool and then also play a Paradise Druid this turn. Have a second one of those on the field. Is that worth it? I think so. And attack here does not look like a good one. So no attacks, end the turn. What do we need? Another Hydroid Krasis, another Nissa, most likely. Crackling Drake, that is an auto quench. And is our opponent going to stick on land here? Okay, they pass. There is the Nissa. Nissa encourages the Arclights to attack, but they can't really. Or the opponent might just end up taking way too much damage. All right. So yeah, that's going to be 5 then. Here's Nissa. Do we untap the other breeding pool? Like 1, 2, 3, 4. We could untap the Castle Vantress and possibly use it to scry. It does expose it to a removal spell, but I think it's a pretty good move if we don't get another use for our mana. And we get this free scry, which no thank you to Fabled Passage. And no attacks. So this encourages the opponent to attack down the Nissa, which in turn lets us untap and throw a big attack back at them. And if they don't make us use the Quench, we get to scry with the castle. Yep, you got it. Oh, now we don't get to. That was another problem. I guess that was a mistake. But on the bright side, we were going to quench this Drake anyway. When the Nissa's dead, you don't get double mana anymore. Funny how that works. Alright, Merchant of the Veil. We must beat you into the ground. Hopefully getting the opponent to attack with those Arclights swings the tempo enough that we can put them in a really bad position. Make it really hard for them to attack for the rest of this game. And do they have a third Crackling Drake? They actually do, and they never drew the land. That's such a tilt. That is such a tilt for them. And yeah, no attacks here. Alright, find me something juicy. Nightpack Ambusher, Sinister Sabotage. Who's ahead? Right now my attacks aren't good. The Arclights can definitely come back. There are 4 non-land cards in hand. So it feels like I need an Ambusher. Does the opponent have like a 4th Crackling Drake? They have something. They have a handful of spells. We can hold this pattern as long as they don't get to resolve something amazing. So I'll take the Sabotage. Because if they do nothing, we can scry. They found the land. If they have the 4th Crackling Drake here, radical idea. Okay, they're going to try drawing some cards. Good. Let's get some cards out of their hand that don't get them another Arclight Phoenix. There it is. We'll keep this on top. Care for an attack? Okay. Again. An unsummon. That's pretty good. Protects the Ambusher from a Lava Coil. Although if the opponent had one, I think we would have seen one by now. But we're definitely on the clock until they draw into it. Let's keep it. And let's pass the turn. Flashy Wolf. They need to resolve another threat here. And it has to be good enough to survive an unsummon. Okay, they're saying go. Here's the Wolfie boy. I'm not playing around counter magic against Arclight Phoenix. Typically, they can't have those reactive cards in hand. I do think that they're going to have a shock. I don't think I can go for a lethal here. Let's see what they do. Thrill. Okay. Unless they tap too low. If they go really low on cards, because they might be trying to find double shock right now. Thrill again. Okay. And they say go. So if I attack all, and they have 1 shock for the Druid, then they get to kill my 2 lands. I keep an Ambusher, and they have to chump it. So basically we're down to my Ambusher and my Wolf token versus their ability to get back some Arclights on their turn, and I still have an unsummon. On the other hand, yeah, I would have to unsummon something now. So if I unsummon an Arclight Phoenix and attack with all, and they have shock, they kill this, they chump here, they kill one of my lands, and I don't get the Wolf. It's assertive for sure, and we don't, but I think we go for it. I think the opponent has 1 shock. You know what though, we're ahead. I think we can say go. I don't think we have to make this play. I think it's too risky. We can get ahead by a Wolf and then have lethal attacks with 3/3s instead of resorting to putting our 2/1 as shock bait. I think we can be more conservative. The opponent can't really attack here. Even if they find all 4 Arclights, they can't kill us. They would need 2 shocks on top of it. No, 3 shocks. All right, they're going for it. Okay, they play out the Electromancer. Let's scry. That's pretty good. We found all the bounce spells, all of them. if we bounce this now, and they go block, 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 and they shock, they go to 1. But we're drawing a Brazen Borrower, so that should finish the job. So let's play this now, so we still have a get a wolf option. But I don't think we're going to try to. Let's go straight into petty theft mode. So our opponent had what they needed to counter our amazing opening, but Nightpack Ambusher and Castle Vantress just ground out the win, and quenching all of the Crackling Drakes. Well, that was just rude, and it was too much. Well, we have a bounce spell and a turn 3 ambusher. I don't think we can ask for a lot more other than drawing a counter in the next 3-4 draw steps. If we do that, we should be right on time with what we need to do. Our opponent opens with a 1-drop on the play, the absolute god draw of best of 1. A lot of times you just look at your hand and say, man, I don't know if I can beat that 1-2 drop combo on the play. But the opponent doesn't have a follow-up to the Gutter Bones. We scryed a land at the bottom, drew a land, and drew another land. So we're looking floody. But here's my Paradise Druid. And we may not even want to play Nightpack Ambusher if we're going to expose it to removal. Ayara. Well, Ayara's expensive. That's Mr. Brightside talking. So we'll play this land, say go. We have seen, I believe, 4 consecutive lands since keeping this hand. So it's definitely looking scary. If the opponent attacks with this Ayara, we can almost be certain that the opponent has a removal. And yeah, if we play the wolf here, it will die. So we are not going to take that chance. We could bounce the Ayara, but I want to save the unsummon to protect the ambusher since it's our entire game plan right now. All the way down to 10. Definitely risky. And the opponent, see that 3 mana? We can't play the wolf here. It will just die. Krasis is a good draw. Let's play the passage and get this out of the way. Let's have another forest ready. And now we will say go. Here they come. So we'll flash an ambusher. The opponent will try to kill something if they have it. If they do, we'll unsummon our wolfy boy. And then probably play the Krasis. Yep, come on back, wolf. We're going to feel this. Down to 4 is very scary. We drew Growth Spiral. And the opponent's really close to killing us. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If I play the land and I Growth Spiral and play the wolf and block here, then we die. Unless I hit an untapped land, but I'd have to shock for one of these, which is really bad. So maybe I'm just supposed to Krasis up. Then the opponent can still kill me. Maybe I block with Paradise Druid and Ambusher instead. Then we take 2, and the opponent playing 2 creatures could kill me. I think we take that chance. We can still play Growth Spiral if we do it like this. Alright, here we go again. A second Murderous Rider, of course, is lethal here. But yeah, unfortunately we flooded, didn't draw any counter spells, so nothing we could do. I don't think so. I mean, one play we could have done is bounce the Ayara earlier and make the opponent recast it, and in hindsight, maybe that was the way to be. Yeah, Frilled Mystic, you were late. You were really late. You too. So the draw was going to get better. We just needed about 2 more lands off the top of our library, and I think we'd have been fine. One drops on the draw is this deck's absolute weakness. If you want to beat it, you need a curve with like a 1-drop into another 1-drop or a 2-drop into a 3-drop, and you need to be on the play. And then it's really easy. It kind of makes Flash look bad if they don't have some kind of a perfect answer to it. Also, the double Murderous Rider, right? They really needed the double Murderous Rider. If the wolf sticks, then they have to try to burn us out with a Yara before we make a big Krasis. And that's much harder. So we're on the draw again. If we flood out with this hand, it's great. Let's see if we go from Mana Screw to Mana Flood, as is MTG tradition. Our opponent with the turn 1 Edgewall Innkeeper. It's going to be tough to beat. I could unsummon it right now, but you just don't want to unsummon anything this small. It's too easy to replay. And usually the opponent won't have an adventure creature on 2, unless it's like an Order of the Midnight. This is a game where we're probably going to lose the card advantage battle, but we need to win the tempo battle. So I'm going to start with the Temple of Mystery and scry any non-land to the bottom, because as much as I love Frilled Mystic, we have to curve out from here to compete. Gruul is bad. If they have a Rimrock Knight, that's so much pressure. And bouncing it is so bad. And they have it, yeah. Okay. It's gonna be one of those days for Simic Flash. I'm sure some of you are enjoying it. Alright, we'll pay 2 life and say go. So here we'll quench something if we can. If we can't, we'll unsummon the Rimrock Knight on end step just to buy a little bit of time. And hopefully draw another bounce spell or interactive spell. Something that lets us keep playing Magic. The opponent might get gun shy because of quench. You never know. Okay, they're just going for the beast. I could bounce the beast and then quench it next turn, which might buy us more time, but I think just playing quench here is just better. Just to get this out of the way. We could draw another 2-drop like a Brazen Borrower or something, or another quench. Am I shocking here? We're under a lot of pressure to shock, so I don't think so. Alright, show me that questing beast. The quench target we love. Thank you. Alright, we're going to 9. Where were you last turn? It's okay. So we scryed a Frilled Mystic to the bottom. I'd be happy drawing that now. So we'll play the passage. Go get an island or a forest? With Nissa, I think we can get another forest. Yeah, we might want a max Krasis if we can draw it. And then we'll pass the turn. This turn, I believe, is Ambusher into Nissa no matter what, so we can try to... Well, can we? If the opponent has an Embercleave. What if they do have an Embercleave? I think we gotta try. I think we have to play boldly from here. We're too far behind. But not too boldly. At least if they Embercleave the Innkeeper, it's a trade, and it plays around Bonecrusher Giant. Then Nissa into Unsummon can keep the Rimrock Knight from killing us, we can hope. They can take me to 1. And it looks like the choice is to take me to 1. Alright, we need a counter. Or a Hydroid Krasis or something. Nope. Just a Nissa. Nissa's not bad. And I think it's better than getting the 3/3 Wolf to get the Nissa down, untap, say, a Breeding Pool, and get in for 3 damage. Alright. There's a few plays where we get punished for attacking with Nightpack Ambusher. Questing Beast is definitely one of them. Any kind of haste could be lethal. So let's hang back. Okay, they had the questing beast. Dodged a bullet potentially. We still get another look. Our opponent's at 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 13 is what I can attack for with double Nissa next turn. We have to bounce the Rimrock Knight. I'm trying to decide if I need to chump the questing beast with Breeding Pool or throw Nightpack Ambusher in front of it and trade. If it gets equipped... See, if I stick my opponent with no creature and nothing to equip, if this is around next turn, it could be worse. Because the opponent can then equip this next turn, attack, and then I can't prevent the lethal. Because I would only have 2, 3, 3 blockers. 7? Yeah. So we will take the trade if we can. I'll make this block just to see if the opponent responds by doing anything. No action. Bounce the Rimrock Knight. The opponent can recast the Rimrock Knight now, of course. I mean, if they do, it's fine. Doesn't really accomplish much, though. They're going to want to recast it as a creature. That's what they really want to do. Alright, this draw step's huge. Whether or not we get to stay in the game is right here. Yes, we do. Yes, we freaking do, team. So, I think we want to double Nissa. We need to end this game, and we need a lot of power and toughness on the field. We also need to have the mana for Brazen Borrower afterwards, which we do with this Breeding Pool being untapped. Play this tapped. Animate it. Or do I animate another forest? Blue, blue, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2. I think I can cast both sides of Borrower this way. But yeah, you're seeing the glory of all the bounce spells that I added to the deck. And if the opponent has Bone Crusher Giant, we lose anyway, but I'm pretty happy that we were able to fight and stay in this game. So let's see what happens. If they had it, I think they would have played it last turn. We were tapped out, so they need to top deck a Bone Crusher Giant to win. That's scary. Okay, that's a card. So the problem here is that the opponent can... If they equip the Spellbreaker, I can bounce the Embercleave, but they can recast it. No, wait, they can't, because they're paying a lot of mana to do it. Okay, they can't recast it now. The other thing I could have done is throw all these in front of the Spellbreaker and then bounce the Rimrock Knight, but then they could have Rimrock Knight the Spellbreaker. But it doesn't matter. They can't recast the Embercleave. They had to pay 3 to equip it. They'll have to pay 4 to recast it. The Spellbreaker has Hexproof. The Embercleave does not. The Rimrock Knight can't block. It may as well attack. I'm not sure what they're mathing for. It can't block. Maybe they're forgetting how that works. So, yeah. Get it going. This is where you turn your creatures sideways and die. Alright, make sure we set our blockers. We still have to block this. Bouncing the Embercleave doesn't keep us from being trampled over. And this can be 6, so we need to block it with 2. Alright. Block. Oh, the opponent really wants this. They are going through something here. They are really going through something. Like, what do I do? They're gonna be really sad. So sad. The double block means a Rimrock Knight in the hand still can be beaten. We also have to replay our Borrower before our creatures die. If we don't, the Nissa land plus the won't be enough. Our opponents have 4 after all. All right, full rope on this combat step. This is keeping it tense. All right. Actually, let's do it like this, just to be sure. In case I somehow skip a step in here. Petty Theft the Embercleave. Recast Brazen Borrower. Just to be sure. Wow, scary game. Hope you enjoyed that one. Holy cow. Two more spells to get the quest. Let's do it. All right, we're on the play. We have a Ramp into Ambusher and a double Quench, so this is definitely a keep. We're looking for another land. Did it. And we're definitely keeping it. Not being too greedy. Because we get to Ramp into Ambusher, which should be pretty favored against all manner of things. Now, I'm going to want some kind of a bounce spell, just in case the opponent does want to come out strong with Rotting Registore, Embercleave, stuff like that. And here we're taking it. I'm only going to quench something I can't beat. I can't beat that. Got me. All right. I'll go ahead and say go. See if the opponent gives us something else to quench. Man, being on the draw is hard. Oh wait, we're on the play. Hard for my opponent. This is empathy. Midnight Reaper. All right, let's Growth Spiral, then consider the quench. We hit another quench. It's a pretty good sign we can quench this. We don't have a breeding pool, so we can't Nissa into quench just yet. It's a good draw too. We'll say go. Funny that we're actually tied despite the opponent having a Gutter Bones on the field from all the damage from the Blood Crypts. It does tell us that they just drew this land, or they wouldn't have played in this order, shocking themselves with Blood Crypt. And it tells us that these are all spells. All right. So now, this is an example of a card that I think we can beat. So I'm going to let this resolve and then play the Ambusher. And now that we have Ambusher counterspell backup, I don't think the Midnight Reaper matters very much. The opponent might charge some creatures into the Wolves just to try to draw. Alright, they're going for another Reaper. I don't think that they have a 2-mana card that can beat my board. They might have another Priest of the Forgotten Gods, which would be very strong, but we could sacrifice our Wolf every turn. So now I'm going to Mystic this. If they resolve a Witch's Oven, that's really annoying, but still beatable. Okay, no Oven. Alright, let's start seeing how the opponent wants to block these. Obviously, the Cat and the Gutter Bones can jump in front of things, draw some cards for the opponent, but I'm not very worried about cards. I'm worried about life totals, tempo, and right now it's definitely in my favor. I think the thing that can go most wrong from here is if the opponent finds a way to cast 2 removal spells in 1 turn. And think, if I had bottomed that forest on turn 1, how horrible this draw would be. Don't be too greedy. You can flood with the deck, but that's a lot better than missing your 4th land drop. Claim the Firstborn. Sure, I can beat that. If you can beat it, don't worry about it. It's definitely a strong attack. What do you think the opponent has? Bone Crusher Giant sounds like it makes the most sense, but countering that would be kind of delightful. Let's try to take this opportunity to kill the Midnight Reaper. They might also have Mayhem Devil. Their plan could be Mayhem Devil, Fabled Passage. That would line up perfectly with our counter, and I'd love to counter a Mayhem Devil. So I'm definitely fine with that. And here it comes. And that's the scoop. We could quench there, and the opponent would have to sacrifice their Fabled Passage to pay for the quench, and then the Devil wouldn't get to kill the Ambusher. But better to just use the Mystic. All right, we got our quest. I think that's about all the Simic Flash that I can personally do for the day. All that I can take. Maybe you can see it in my eyes. I'm getting a little deader inside the more I play this evil, evil deck. But I hope that you enjoyed it. If you are looking to try out Simic Flash and get some play patterns with it, I think I showed off some pretty tricky spots and how to play your bounce spells and how to play the tempo game. And if you're looking to beat Simic Flash, I think that mono black deck showed you the way. Be aggressive and make sure you play your removal spells and leave mana open for your removal spells tactically. I think that there was a really good example of how to hold up mana for removal. Even if you don't have it, you can bluff it if you set your stops and keep the opponent from playing their wolf and taking more damage. So good stuff to learn. So with that, we're going to do our thank you for today. And today I'm going to thank all my Twitch subscribers. We have over 200 subscribers on Twitch. And I bring it up because, yes, you can pay $4.99 to the Twitch gods to get that ad-free viewing and those emotes over on my Twitch stream. But there are also 2 ways to get a free subscription over there. And my Twitch subscribers, like my YouTube members and my patrons, get access to my bonus videos where I play Historic, Brawl, Best of 3, some other games sometimes. I put up my Shadowverse training that I did for the tournament I just won in Shadowverse. So just extra content from me if you're looking for it. And the ways that you can get that for free with Twitch are one with Twitch Prime. If your house has an Amazon Prime subscription, you get 1 free subscription on Twitch. Google Twitch Prime for information about that. And the other is with Quest Mode. Quest Mode lets you play some like mobile games and take free offers, like download Hulu for free, and just for installing it you get points. If you get enough points, you earn a tier 1 subscription. So those are 2 ways that you can support the channel without paying any money yourself. So if you were looking for a free way to get those videos, I took this moment to explain it. Hope you liked it. Thank you for watching this video, and I will see you later.